Up with KREM begins now.
Right now on Up with KREM, it's been 1 year since the Babb Road fire ripped through the towns of Malden and Pine City. This morning, Tim Pham is live from Malden with more on the aftermath of that fire.
This community is changed forever because of that devastating wildfire that destroyed most of this town. But the future is bright and there's a lot of work to restore this community. I'll have much more coming up.
And we're going to keep a close eye on air quality throughout the day. Today, a change in the weather pattern brings back hot temperatures and a bit of a smoky haze.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis. Well, today we're taking a look back at the fire that burned more than 80% of the buildings in the towns of Malden and Pine City. Tim Pham is joining us live from the area. Our meteorologist Jeremy Legoo will be joining us from the Weather Center as wildfire smoke from this season moves into Spokane once again. So Jeremy, let's start things off with you. Can you tell us more about the air quality that people can expect as they head out the door this morning?
Well, the good news is right now air quality does remain in that moderate realm, but it's on the low end of moderate for us here in Spokane. Around us, we are in the good zone, but it is on the upper end of that good zone. So we're hovering right around 50 on the AQI early this morning. And that is set to change as we head through the day today. You can see that orange glow along the horizon. That's something we'll keep a very close eye on. Temperatures, though, on the mild side, 56 in Spokane, 53 in Coeur d'Alene. Look at Sandpoint. Oof, chilly start to the day, 43 there, 52 in Moses Lake, and 60 in Wenatchee. Air quality stays at 56 this morning, but it likely trends closer to unhealthy for some as we move through the day today. And tomorrow, kind of the opposite. Starts out as unhealthy for some and then trends closer to moderate. So you can see that smoke building in a little later on. It's a ridge of high pressure that sets up over the top of us, bumps up our temps, brings about heat, pushes smoke down toward the ground, and that's what keeps us a bit smoky and a bit hazy. We are looking at tons of sunshine in the forecast. It's just the smoke that kind of hinders it. I think we would otherwise be up near 90, if not at 90 today, but what the smoke is going to do is keep us a bit cooler. So I'm going to say upper 80s later on this afternoon, 87, 88 degrees as those temps soar and smoke returns to the sky.
Well, today marks 1 year since the town of Malden and Pine City were nearly destroyed by a wildfire. Our Tim Pham is joining us live from Malden all morning long with the very latest on recovery efforts there. Good morning, Tim.
Hey, good morning, Channing. Yeah, now that the sun is up, we are getting a better look at what Malden looks like today. You know, this isn't the first time that we've been back to Malden. We've been back here many times over the last 12 months to talk about the restoration efforts to get this town back up and running. You see behind me, this is the post office, or what was the post office. It was one of the most iconic images that we saw in the last year of just how devastating this fire was. We were here when the building was on fire, and there was fire on both sides of the road on the main street here in Malden. And now today there are still a lot of recovery efforts. I just spoke to the mayor just a few moments ago, and he just told me something that's really startling, is that, you know, this town at one point had 2,500 people at Malden's peak. Now, prior to the fire, there were about 210 people who lived here. Today, just about 125 as people work to rebuild their homes before they can actually move back here. So yeah, there is still a long road ahead to get Malden back to what it was. The Babb Road fire, of course, destroyed many buildings in this area. There were actually 39 Labor Day fires on that same day, and it burned more than 500,000 acres in Washington in just 36 hours. The fire forced nearly 200 residents to evacuate here in Malden. 67 homes were lost, 13 in Pine City. Now, I had the chance to speak one-on-one with the Commissioner of Public Lands, Hillary Franz, to talk about, you know, what it was like to be here 1 year ago and what she's done in the last year as she is at the helm of the Department of Natural Resources and dealing with all of the wildfire response in the state. And she says there is a lot of work to do, but Malden is something that she never wants to see happen again. And it's why she's made it her efforts to push for legislation to get get more resources, especially for the smaller communities who don't have a lot of firefighting efforts to fight some of these really devastating fires. Now, July and August of last year, you might have not known this, but it was a little bit cooler and a little bit of a calmer wildfire season compared to previous years. And so a lot of fire officials, they tell us that they were cautiously optimistic. But then Labor Day came around and there was those hurricane-force winds that really destroyed a lot of communities, and not just by fires, but on that day, those huge winds caused a lot of fires throughout the state, and it burned Malden down within 2 to 3 hours. It was actually a tree that fell on an Avista line that caused the fire. And then it was up to just 3 firefighters to battle this fire initially, because Malden only has 8 volunteer firefighters, and 5 of them were already battling other fires nearby. Now, Franz tells us that she will never forget what she saw while touring Malden not long after the fire.
That tragedy is one that will live with me, and is frankly it's what the warning we've been trying to tell the rest of the state for a very long time, that we have communities that are sitting with very, very high wildfire risks, with limited resources in the air and limited resources on the ground.
More than 2 million homes in the state are actually considered in wildfire risk, as she was talking about, and that's a lot of families, a lot of people. And after touring the town of Malden, she told her team that she could do better, they could do better for the people of Malden and the entire state. And so she worked in the last year to get Malden a new fire truck and secure that FEMA funding, which took longer than many anticipated. And she's also worked to fund fire departments like Malden and others in the community.
Malden, we remember you. We are going to keep on remembering you. We're going to do everything to help you rebuild and stay safe in the years to come. And we're going to make sure that we're doing everything possible to prevent no more Maldens in the state of Washington.
To bill to create a dedicated fund to prevent and fight wildfires in Washington. House Bill 1168 provides $125 million every 2 years to boost wildfire response, speed up forest restoration, and support community resilience. So you are taking a live look now of the brand new flag here in Malden. You can see it was just raised yesterday in Malden, where the fire department used to stand on the flagpole. So during the event yesterday, the mayor and fire chief stood by as the flag was retired and replaced with a new one. And the new fire chief in Malden wants to keep, and says that he wants to keep something like this from ever happening again.
Can't thank enough, DNR and Spokane Valley for giving us the equipment to be able to do what we need to do. Hopefully we can keep this from ever happening again. And that's the goal, but you don't ever know. You can just be ready for it. That's all you can do.
Well, last year, Spokane Valley donated a fire truck to the town before they got a new one for the fire department. So that's something important to mention, not just fire departments, but many different groups, nonprofits, churches, and other individuals that really stepped up over the last year to help make a difference in the community. Right now, in the neighboring town of Rosalia, neighbors gathered to help the town rebuild, and support came in the form of clothes, food, shelter, and really anything you can think of to the Rosalia Baptist Church. And at one point, there were so many donations, they actually put some of those on pause.
Good people are sacrificing and coming together, anything necessary, whatever needs to be done to help their neighbors, to help their friends, to help their family. So when something happens to them, it happens to us. We're one community. And that's really been a beautiful thing.
Then they went over here and they put.
Also, one of Spokane's most well-known businesses stepping in to help. The owners of No Lie helped raise more than $100,000 for the town. The co-owner, John Bryant, said it was all a part of their mission. Now, coming up in just a little bit after the break, we are going to be hearing live from the mayor of Malden to talk about what's next for this community and the work ahead. In the meantime, you can text the word FIRE to 509-448-2000 for the latest updates on what's going on in Malden and how you can help. Live in Malden, I'm Tim Pham. Back to you.
It's time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. People who are not fully vaccinated are 7 times more likely to test positive for COVID-19. That's according to new data from King County. According to this data, those not fully vaccinated are 49 times more likely to be hospitalized for COVID-19. In contrast, only about 0.5% of fully vaccinated Washingtonians have tested positive. Well, the deadline for state and school workers to get vaccinated per Washington Governor Jay Inslee's mandate is approaching. Yesterday was the deadline to get the first dose of the Moderna vaccine in order to make that October 18th deadline. Now for Pfizer, you have until next Monday, and for the J&J shot, which is just 1 dose, you have until October 4th. And we got a brand new look at the new stadium at Ridgeline High School. They got to play their first game on the field on Friday. Now it has new technology to keep athletes on it all day.
Great new LED lighting that we have here. It's funny, there's not a light switch in our stadium right now. It's all done from a phone. And so they set us up accounts. I could be at home and someone could text me and say, can you turn on the lights?
The stadium is just the second to be built in the area in decades. It comes just a year after Meade High School debuted their brand new stadium last year. Well, that's your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.